there's been a lot of talk about cancel culture, right? And people have been saying that, we need to all get along a little bit better. And these people online are so horrible, they're mean. What are they doing, trying to hold us accountable for our actions? We've had notable, remember the thing with Ellen and George W. Bush? And Ellen came out saying, well, I like George. Just because we have a difference of opinion that Iraqis are human beings and they don't deserve to be slaughtered for no reason, doesn't mean we can't be buddies and go to enjoy a football game together. Nothing wrong with that at all. We're on the same team and you ain't in it. But that was cringeworthy enough, man. It pissed us off. We talked about it in independent media, right? It's horrible, right? There's reasons why. And then we got Obama.
This idea of purity and you're never compromised and you're always politically woke and all that stuff, you should get over that quickly. The world is messy. There are ambiguities. Yep. People who do really good stuff have flaws.
He came out too. Now, here's the thing. We're getting to the Obama statement. But lately, there's been Michelle Obama popped her head up and she tripled down on this garbage.
I think you're friends with both Ellen and my dad. Yes. And they sat next to each other, which caused some sort of online backlash. Mm-hmm. Your husband recently talked about the dangers of cancel culture. Yeah. What do you say to people that want to be closer with each other?
I had an opportunity to sit by your father at funerals, the highs and the lows, and we shared stories about our kids and about our parents. Our values are the same. We disagree on policy, but we don't disagree on humanity. We don't disagree about love and compassion.
You know, the level of disgusting that this is cannot be overstated. What Michelle Obama just did here, First Lady, is she just equated holding people accountable who had positions of power to online bullying about what kind of hair you wore to the club, or I don't know, maybe you dated someone's boyfriend or girlfriend, and someone like they're equating, they're false, they're gaslighting us, and they're creating a straw man, and they're doing it in order to influence people to think that when they get criticism that it's unwarranted. Then she even used the idea that she was with, and that's George Bush's daughter. She used the position or the situation with John McCain's funeral, where she sat with George W. Bush and talked about, well, you know, we come together in bad times funerals. But what about all the funerals that you caused? Are we supposed to just forget that about Iraq? That you didn't prosecute George W. Bush for war crimes? We're talking about torture. I think the fact that you let George W. Bush get away with torture, that deserves criticism. And that deserves people commenting about it. And people holding you accountable for it. But they don't want us to. Instead, what they want to do is say that we're online bullies, that we are purist, that we are somehow beyond the pale, that we are hardliners, that we are haters even. Well, Michelle Obama, I don't recall you having a problem with Kanye West saying that George W. Bush didn't care about black people. George W. Bush is the same guy who watched as black people were sweltered, and poor white people too, poor Latinos in the Superdome back in New Orleans. Didn't do anything, didn't lift a finger. Flew over in his helicopter and kept on flying. He looked down at all of the poor people and said, they hate us for our restaurants. They hate us for our lattes. And kept his ass flying on and didn't help the people. New Orleans is still not back. Louisiana, parts of South Carolina, they still are suffering from that. Up to Michelle Obama that this is inconsequential. It's unnecessary to hold these people accountable for their actions. You know, Michelle Obama may be a woman, obviously she is, and she may be a mother, obviously she is that too, and she was First Lady, and that's also true. But it's also true she's just another person, part of the machinery that's full of deception and giving out false narratives that fleece us and leave the most vulnerable of us the blame for calling them out. Now, it's true that Obama led the way in this crap. Privately, he's considering leading a Stop Bernie campaign to combat Sanders' 2020 surge, going so far to say he'll stop a presidential candidate from winning. He will jump in and be a barrier. From lofty heights, Obama has now become a dampener of hope, a barrier to change, and a threat to progress. And how are they selling it, though? They're selling it as if he's helping the world. They're selling this idea that it would somehow be good for Obama to step in and save us from ourselves, from having people that are too far to the left run this country, from having programs like Medicare for All, the base of $15 an hour, ending mass incarceration, legalizing marijuana. The list goes on. Green New Deal, combating climate change, broadband plan to give Americans in the richest country that's ever existed, that prints its own money, the opportunity for all of us to have the internet access that we should have, that they have in Japan and China and other countries in the westernized world. They got a better grid in Pakistan than we have in America. But he wants you to think that if that guy Bernie gets in and implements that, that'll be the end of the world. It's already the end of the world for a lot of us, Obama. There was a great article I read today. I tweeted it out. It's from the In These Times. Centrists don't want party unity. They want to defend the wealthy. More than 2/3 of Americans support Medicare for All, surveys show, while only 20% outright oppose this policy. The Green New Deal, meanwhile, registered more than 80% support. While many establishment critiques claim Sanders is unelectable because of his unabashedly left agenda, by many measures, he appears more electable than most of the other candidates in the race. Sanders consistently polls better against Trump than everyone but Biden. He consistently raises more money than his opponents and recently shattered campaign records by reaching 4 million individual contributors, and his 2016 performance in key swing states such as Michigan, Wisconsin, could bode well for a Sanders victory in the general election. If the Democrats' establishment's goal is defeating Trump and winning the White House, the evidence is clear. A progressive candidate such as Sanders or Warren can absolutely win. There is, in fact, no evidence that only a centrist can win. Christian D. Cook is the author of that article. I suggest you all go check it out because it points out various truths about the Democratic establishment and how they're not concerned so much with Trump as they are concerned with the agenda of a leftist. See, a true leftist, like Jeremy Corbyn, a true leftist would change this structure. They would actually take money out of the pockets of the wealthy, of the establishment. Democrats have money too that they don't want to fork over. I mean, really, what is a Democrat? What is a Republican? It's just a name tag. When it comes down to it, there's times that Trump was a Democrat and there's times he's a Republican as right now. There are times when Bloomberg was a Republican, then an independent, then a Democrat. Elizabeth Warren was a Republican, now she's a Democrat. Now she says she's a progressive. Then she went back to being a Democrat. Now she's trying to get back and say she's now back to being a progressive. I mean, really, these are just titles. But at the end of the day, the powerful, the rich and powerful who want to keep their power at all means, at any means necessary, like Malcolm X staring out the window with an AK-47, they are willing to kneecap Bernie Sanders and anyone else who will take away their ability to stack more money in overseas bank accounts, offshore accounts, in order to keep their power where it is. That's the truth. And they're using this whole, a centrist is the only one can win. They're using that as a way to beat the masses into believing this is the best we can do. When if our elections are not rigged, the masses want the changes. But they've been tricking us for a long time with this, using smooth talkers like Obama, smooth talkers like Michelle. And you know, in a way, I guess we should feel somewhat flattered that they went so far as to go get a couple of black faces to dampen or to, I don't know, throw us off the trail of the scent of the BS that they are shoveling. That's how far it's gone. Now, it appears they've upped the ante. They use black to set us back. Now they're using gay to keep it that way, and it's up to us to recognize it. You know, some people wonder why I give Andrew Yang a fair shot. I give him a fair shot because I think Yang supporters should be respected, and at the end of the day, I hope that they're smart enough to join us and not join Biden. It ain't rocket science. We need numbers. I feel the same way about Elizabeth Warren supporters. I feel the same way about Tulsi Gabbard supporters. You know, your job and my job are totally different jobs. My job is to reach millions of people every month is what I do. I want to unite us at the end of the day because that's what matters. They want a centrist. And at least I know that if you like Yang, you ain't a centrist. And if you like Tulsi, you ain't a centrist. So that's why I keep that door open. We keep the lines of communication going because at the end of the day, we want pretty much closely the same things, as do the rest of Americans. But these people are active. That's what matters. That's the article. What you are witnessing is the death throes of neoliberalism. That's right. It's the last gasp. It was easy to lie to us when we didn't have the internet and we didn't have independent media. You know? You just put a face on TV and that's pretty much all people knew. They didn't. Like, people had ideas, but, you know, was relegated to what they could get on talk radio. You know, and there's something different about an image, something different about a face. I know some people, they want to minimize the importance of the power of this communication medium, what it can mean, what it can do, and that the different styles in which we do it, and how it resonates with different people, and there's a reason for that. But at the end of the day, we're in a very important time. We are the folks that can make the change happen, and they don't like it. They running scared. We ain't running scared. They running scared. That's why they're shutting us down on every platform they can. They're trying to slow our roll. That's why they're throwing as many of their house dogs and their lap dogs in our way to smear us because we have the momentum. It ain't working like it used to. They used to just be able to say, what you think is bad, it's going to end the world, and people would just believe it. Now we know better. It's not working. And now we got our own special blend and our own commentators, our own media in the news, in these times. Democracy Now!, Jay Coben. They had a great panel, by the way. Michael Brooks, Crystal Ball, another guy from Jay Coben, killing it. Talking about this very topic just earlier today. We got Facebook groups. Tim Black speak on a group, many other groups, the Bernie Sanders grassroots group. There's a lot of groups, the Bernie-crats. There's all these different entities. All of us sharing information, pushing the same direction. They're the ones that's running scared. They want to put the toothpaste back in the bottle. We ain't going to let them do it.